Yeah.
Welcome one and all to Geek, your latest addition to the news, reviews, and interviews across all things geeky and nerdy across all spectrums. This is the first of many podcasts featuring myself, Dawn, and the man that puts the E-I-E-I-O into gaming, our very own geek himself, Mr. Kieran MacDonald. How you doing, mate?
Wow, that's one hell of an intro. Jesus, I was not expecting that. It's what the fuck just happened? If this is the way this is gonna be, oh boy, I'm good.
This could be fun.
I'm good. Excited to be recording this. I hope you're all right.
Yeah, I think all things considered, I think we're quite blessed to be around. And all things considered, everything has been really, really tough, hasn't it, for everybody? And I think
it's been the worst.
It really has. And I think at this moment in time, again, I want to send my heart out to everybody that's obviously affected by COVID, the lockdowns essentially too, because obviously both sides of the spectrum here are being affected, but much love to everybody out there. I hope everyone's keeping safe.
Yes, safety above everything else. And while we're here, thank you to the NHS for all the hard work you've done. But that's not what the podcast is about. So as Dawn has alluded to, we are geeked on other platforms. We run by Geekt Gaming. So basically we are doing things that are nerdy, that are, you name it. There's comics, there's video games, there's tabletop games, there's card games, there's everything under the nerdy geek banner. But we're going to get into that. And
Indeed.
Before we do, I think we should probably talk about why and how this came about. So this is a little bit of your love child, right? So
well, yeah, I suppose.
You want to give us a little bit of background on why?
On what? Oh, good grief. Okay. Well, that could take me all day, but I'll try and whittle it down. You know what I'm like for talking. Yeah. So for me, it's obviously people that know me know that I've done podcasting in the past. I've done radio work. I've been a performer for a number of years. So for me to be behind the microphone, it's just something I've always done. So yeah, there's just a bit of restlessness in me at the moment, because obviously I am a huge geek. That goes without saying. Gaming is absolutely massive part of my life, and it's something I've done for many, many years. I've been raised with that old vintage games and stuff like that, the likes of the NES, the Mega Drive, the Master System, Spectrum. I've been through pretty much everything you can think of. The Commodore 64, good grief.
Cool.
That was a tool. Yes, tell me about it. I did have some Ataris as well. I've been through pretty much all of them, I would say, at this point. Even a BBC computer. I had 4 of them, actually.
Those things are rare.
Oh, yes. They're worth a bit of money now. But yeah, like I said, I've got those 2, but unfortunately 3 of them have gone to the graveyard. 1 still works, ish. So I was hoping to sort of get the parts from one and put the... But anyway, yeah, you know what happens. You have children and life gets in the way. So that was the end of that. But yeah, for me, it's about... I don't know whether it's because there's still this semi kind of anti-nerd thing that goes around sometimes. I think sometimes people are seen as being, when they mention the word geek or nerd to some people, it means something negative to some people, which I don't understand, because actually, for the most part, it's also trendy to be a nerd. So it's kind of...
It's amazing feeling.
Yeah, it is awesome. I love it. It is primarily for me, it's about speaking the truth when it comes to gaming and stuff like that. So if we're going to do any future reviews, keeping it real is a big thing for me right now. And obviously, leading on to our discussion, this is another reason why the discussion we're about to have is about to happen, because it is, at the moment, I think, crucial that gamers... well, even if you're not a gamer and you're just a geek that don't game, I don't care, but I do think that this needs to be discussed. And the thing I want to discuss is how is it that as intelligent people, as gamers, we're allowing a system that is fundamentally, I mean, not everybody, again, this is a hard one because do I see it as ripping us off? Do I see it as mugging us off? I don't know. But we're the only industry right now that allows people to basically sell us a product that is unfinished, incomplete. And we've seen this worsen throughout lockdown. It was bad before, but I think it's quite obvious there is a big, big problem. Who is to blame? What is the cause? What is the motivator to releasing games that are obviously not finished? I know that YouTubers such as Angry Joe, he's brought it up numerous times. He's a massive, passionate hater when it comes to this whole kind of corporacy thing that's taking over gaming, and it's eating away and ebbing at the heart of gaming. And I think it's just terrible. It's awful, and these games are getting more expensive now. I mean, what is it about the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox?
The current market for any current new generation title is between 55 and 70 quid upwards. Obviously, there are other regions, so they might differ in your region. But the whole climate for this current generation is based on greed. And to most gamers, including myself, that doesn't work.
No.
It's purely a dumb situation where you're pricing people that would enjoy the product you create out of the market. Now, I kind of priced myself out of the market ages ago. And
a lot of other people.
It happened. It happened, and I put my hands up and say that was my fault. That was purely my fault. And to put my hands up and say, yep, I did that for good reasons. Basically, I am one of these people that, if you've watched me before, I've done streaming on Twitch under several names now. And I'm also streaming as under Geeked. Come and watch. Plug? Yes. But I'm good at these plugs. Or bad? Question mark?
He's great at easy games.
Oh, shut up, you. But no, I've done streaming, and for a while, back in 2017, 2018, I was buying games purely to stream. And when you buy a £50 game purely to stream it, you very quickly realise, A, you've got no money, B, you buy fucking everything that's released, and C, you end up with no money, and it's a vicious cycle. and I know A and C are the same thing. Don't question me.
So would you say that maybe that like it falls under the lines of addiction?
It's gaming has and will always be an addiction. I think it's kind of been scientifically proven at this point that it is an addiction.
Yeah. And I find that kind of scary, actually. I don't know why.
Weird.
The moment you put addiction and label something, it makes you realise you must have some sort of problem.
Yeah.
But I see it as a good problem, but,
questionably good? I mean, considering I've cut down on the amount of games I play, I'm slightly in a better place now than I was with just gaming in general. And obviously my monetary situation is still not amazing, but hey, we live and learn and we dig ourselves out. And
again, that makes me think, because obviously with this whole COVID situation, a lot of people have lost their jobs. People are struggling monetarily. And then you've got, again, people will say, oh, but gaming's a luxury. You don't need it. Of course you do. A lot of people you see don't socialise the same way as other people. I mean, for me, I don't go out like I used to because A, I don't want to, and B, I don't need to, because my social hub is with the people that I communicate with online pretty much every single day of the week. And they become a part of your everyday being, your life. They know more about you than your family the majority of the time, because you will tell them things. And that it is. But that's the reality, isn't it? You know,
But
like gaming for me, it like changed everything for me after what I went through with my last marriage and stuff. You know, not that I want to go on about that,
no.
but you know, but the thing is for me is it changed my life. Playing like I met my partner on Elder Scrolls Online. If it wasn't for him buying that game that particular time, well, the DLC, should I say, he already had the base game, the Tamriel Unlimited.
Nice.
He bought the Somerset.
The
And then that is
DLC?
obviously it. It was, I don't know, I think they had one before that, didn't they? Because they had like...
maybe it might have been
there's quite a few.
There's like...
Because they had Orsinium, I think, as an add-on, which was put on with the Cyrodiil and stuff like that. And...
Yeah, you had the ones that you could buy with the in-game currency or get as part of a pass, and then you had the...
Yeah.
Now you have to pay us 25 quid or whatever it is to access this content.
Yeah, well, he bought like Somerset, and you know, we met online. I was a guild master, and he joined my guild. Sounds rather kinky now. I look at it. But
at this point, we are now entering adult territory. This was never meant to be a child-friendly podcast. So if you're listening and you're under the age of 18, well, welcome. You're about to have your life ruined.
He will destroy your soul. No, I mean, obviously, gaming has literally changed my life. So for me, paying what I do, although I have to say I've only about 4 times on my one hand can I count where I've paid full price for a game.
Oof.
And, you know, that is, again, that was because I bought the Somerset, but I bought the actual collector's edition box set.
Oh, yeah.
Which came with, you know, your steel tin book thing for your disc, and it comes with a load of things like Razumdar's journal, Mafala? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, a little statue of her. Yeah, I mean, I stopped playing it so recently because it's just...
But I think that's brings it back to our point here, though, that when, you know, like yourself, you buy a DLC, and you buy it at such a cheap price. I know, like, 25 quid is not necessarily cheap for everybody, and I can appreciate that. No. It sometimes
you
that's
should
the case.
See the price of the new one.
Ooh.
The new DLC for Elder Scrolls. I bang outright refuse to pay what they are trying to charge for it. 50 quid?
Holy
I don't think so.
Balls.
You will not even... Yeah, I mean, you'll be lucky if you get 2 or 3 game hours out of that. It's absolutely disgusting.
Dumb.
It's disgusting. I'm sorry. But I literally, for me, that is where I draw the line.
I think we have a line, though, don't we? That every gamer will go and say to themselves, like, okay, can I afford to buy this game this month? And can I afford then to put fuel in the car, pay the rest of the bills? What have I got left over that's mine? Once you've budgeted that, it's okay. But you don't then go, oh, I'll buy this brand new generation and go, oh, I'll just, you know, chuck nearly £300 on games. And for that, well, how many games are you going to get at £70 a pop? 4 games?
Exactly.
Like,
it's disgusting.
I remember the PS4 launch. I was there at midnight on the PS4 launch. I fucking loved it. And I come home with the console. I think I had a headset, an extra controller, and maybe 4 games, 3 or 4 games, and it set me back just under £600, like, or around that sort of figure. Like, so that is the system and bits to use for it. 600 quid. Now you go into your local game store, whatever that might be, and you have to pay, what is it, £450 for a PlayStation 5 and 3 Xbox 360 10XW. I don't even know what they're calling it now. Series 7. And
showing your age. Showing your age, King.
Just look, I'm not against Xbox. It just makes me laugh. I'm not one of these people that cares what you play on as long as you enjoy. No,
normally I have to say that that'll be for a different discussion. But yeah, the console war thing is another part of that I really hate. Yeah.
We'll discuss that later. But you can go in. You have to spend that amount of money on the base big system because they now release 2 systems, and then you go, oh, I guess I can't buy an extra controller. I can't buy that headset, and I can only afford 1 game. And there's 530 odd quid. And you're like,
one.
balls. For some
Which
people that's
again,
like a
that's
third of their
another part
wage.
It's another part of the greed tank, though, isn't it? At the
It
end of the
really
day, the
is.
whole kind of releasing a new console and only having like one exclusive game to the console, or having
If you're
like,
lucky.
oh yeah, I know. Like literally, they released the PlayStation 5, and then they didn't really release anything on it for quite a while. And I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute. You've got a new console with no games to date, and then you suddenly release like one here, one there. And you think, well, you've got like £500-600 worth of consoles sat doing not an awful lot, and not an awful lot more than what your PlayStation 4 was doing.
There's
So
that sense that a lot of like early adopters will jump in and be like, "Oh, cool, got the latest and greatest," which is ace. Congratulations, you managed to jump on that train and get one. I wanted to and couldn't.
I don't know why I keep bringing up the comparisons of like PlayStation. Because that goes for everything.
It goes for both systems. I mean, in the current climate of PC parts and the silicon shortage, that is slowly, and I mean very slowly, starting to level itself back out. There has been put up, I've just seen on Twitter actually, the Ratchet and Clank PlayStation 5 bundles, which is kind of cool. So, you can go out and get those eventually. I cannot wait. I am hype. Guess what? You can't get it on PS4. I am so disappointed. But these consoles are now appearing in, or will be appearing in the wild. And that's kind of good for the consumer. Especially those that didn't adopt early or couldn't adopt early. So while they've made their money off of the fucking like 12 million units that have been sold across Sony, Microsoft, and even Switch, like Nintendo and their Switch has done really, really well over the lockdown, which is
I
ace.
found that shocking. I thought that was shocking. Actually, I don't know why it was, but for me, I did wonder if the Switch was going to take off. Because
was always, I think it was always going to take off. And when especially at the start of lockdown, when you had the first lockdown, you had Animal Crossing New Horizons launch, and it was just as we started, everybody, and I mean everybody with a Switch, including myself, I went out and bought it, and it's a fantastic game, and it's one of those weird things. Nintendo have it right, I think. Nintendo, while their pricing on their store is absolute ass, Nintendo, sort it. Okay, thanks, please.
Sort it out.
You have this perfect mix that you don't get in price to performance. That what can you do with a PlayStation or an Xbox? Oh, I can take it to a friend's house. But then you need a TV. Then you need a network connection. With Switch, you just go, I'll just take it with me. I'll connect it to my phone, and it's that price.
Yeah.
It's so perfectly
This is
balanced.
why I love Nintendo. This is why I love Nintendo. They literally go out on their own. They don't play the console war thing. They just go, do you know what? You two, you do you. Yeah, you carry on. You make a muggery of yourselves in the corner over there, and we'll just do our thing. I respect that when it comes to Nintendo. I respect that they aren't being pushed.
No.
Or allowing people to push them into a direction that the other two are going at the moment.
And that's just
that's
perfect.
Good.
It's
pure class.
There's a class A and then there's a class B, and Microsoft, I'm sorry, but you sit in class B. I don't hate. Okay, I'm going to reiterate this. I am a gamer. I have had Xboxes over the years. In fact, we still have a 360 here somewhere.
In fact, I will say I've had quite a few Xboxes.
We don't talk about the Xbox One because the Xbox One X was best. Anyway,
we don't talk about the 360.
Shut up, ring it down. Anyway, but Microsoft sit in a very peculiar, and this comes from a tech level. So, I like to look at not just like software but hardware. And yes, Microsoft are like, oh, well, we've got the most powerful hardware. But have you? Because if your hardware and your software don't work, Xbox 360 and Xbox One early days, if it doesn't work, it's rubbish. And I love the specs. That's just me. As a person, I love those specs. I have to get and dive in and understand why and how things are going to work together. It's Microsoft just don't do very well. It's just, you look at especially the latest generation. On paper, the Xbox Series X is the most powerful gaming home console. It just is. There is no doubt about it. But
well, as they say, the facts don't care for your feelings, do they? You know what I mean? We can all say what we want about individual consoles, but whatever they say on paper is what they is, and that's it. That's what they are.
That's what they are.
And
but you can then look at side by side the same price, or that's slightly more expensive. I think the PlayStation is. That there we go. Something is really not happy on OBS. I'm really sorry. That the PlayStation 5, while it is underpowered considering, it's a better system. It's more optimized. The software, the hardware, it's just optimized. And while I haven't had a chance to play with a PS5, because again, I don't have one, I've seen the performance between the two, and it's phenomenal. But again, you pay that premium, and these companies are saying, make a mockery of the people that we're selling to, which is kind of what they're doing. And especially with the pre-order system as well. You vote with your wallets. Please don't pre-order stuff when it's not complete. Again, another discussion for another time.
Definitely. I mean, that was a part of this discussion, really, to an extent, I guess, because again, it does fall down that line of where people are getting ripped off. Are they being ripped off? People are, I mean, like me, okay, and again, as we know over Christmas time, CD Projekt Red, unfortunately...
Oof, that's a... Oh, you want to go down that rabbit hole. Oh, boy.
May I tell you, I was absolutely... God, I wanted that game to be so good because it looked incredible. Everything we were sold, you know, people did pre-order. I'm lucky I wasn't one of those people. My brother was, and obviously he's kind of, actually for him, weirdly, just like it was for me and my fiance, our versions were actually not that bad. Again, I shouldn't be saying it was not that bad, because that shouldn't even come into a sentence for a game that's that price.
No.
That we shouldn't be having these conversations at all, actually. And I'm sorry, in this day and age, computers do so much of the work. And I appreciate that there are graphics that obviously have to be done and stuff like I get this, okay? I really do. I've tried to make excuses for devs. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. And I do feel for people that work within these industries. I do, to an extent. But what I'm more worried about is that people will pre-order. They will pour money into things they don't actually know anything about. Now, in my eyes, before you're sold a product these days, generally, you can touch it, you can feel it, you can have a play with it, do you know what I mean? And then you can take it home, and you have so many days to take it back if you're not happy with your purchase. You can't necessarily do that when you've pre-ordered.
No.
You know, you pre-ordered, you put your heart and soul into waiting for whatever it is it might be, whether it's a console, whether it's a handheld, whether it's a game itself, and it comes to you, what I would call damaged.
Yeah. Because
that's what it is. It is damaged goods. It is unfinished. It's broken. Yeah. So you cannot, I'm sorry. And I'm going to call out everybody that is involved, the entire industry that is a part of that problem. They make me sick. They are destroying the heart and soul of gaming. It's got to a point where even my fiance now is actually sort of sat around going, I don't even want a game no more. It literally, everywhere I go, on the PSN store as well, it's all, you know, oh, buy these coins to buy this for in-game blah blah content and blah blah this, and you know, buy this reskin of a horse that's already in the game but we've reskinned it for you anyway, you know, you'll love it,
have it,
just pay £12. It's ridiculous.
God damn
like this is one of the reasons why I don't really play ESO much anymore. My heart still belongs to it because of obviously the connection I have to it as a result of, you know, because I've now got a baby as a result of ESO. So at the end of the day, my heart will always be with it. But again, when you're paying
It
for a
becomes pay to win
subscription,
at the end of the day.
oh man, it really
pay to
is,
win.
and it's pay to win mechanics. And then you've got the loot boxes. Oh, don't get me started on that. The gambling behind these games, EA, they're scumbags for it. We've got places like, or ZeniMax, Bethesda. They're terrible for it too. They can deny it as much as they want. They do have loot boxes in their games, in some source or some order. They're just sneaky about how they drop them in here, But it's still gambling. I don't care if it's... People can say it's not with real money because you've got to buy in-game currency to purchase with them first, but you still got to spend real money to get it.
Yeah, you got.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
People don't quite understand how and why and what it's about, especially if they're not gamers themselves and they've got their kids that are, playing Fortnite or
oh god,
whatever other games that kids play these days. Because I don't even keep up with what kids are playing. I know Fortnite was a thing. It's probably still a thing. Who knows? But it's
a dangerous precedent that we're setting, though, isn't it?
It is.
It really is dangerous.
I think it's going to probably end up going down to, again, another conversational topic. But there are places around the world that are actually starting to ban or limit these loot boxes. It's because it is gambling. They are literally labeling them as gambling, and that they should be regulated as such. So
I know the UK are, aren't they? They're on board to stopping it now.
They are. I think it was in the UK. They put in a situation where you cannot gain an item in the loot boxes that gives you a credible advantage in the game, and it has to be literally cosmetic only. So, oh look, you got a skin for your gun. Oh look, cool, you now look a little bit different. Oh look, you got fancy.
Well, that to me, that
lights.
doesn't change anything.
It doesn't do anything. But when you start putting separate weapons into these loot boxes that you can only obtain in these loot boxes, Call of Duty, not calling you out, Activision assholes. That's where it gets wrong. Again, I'm not going to call out these companies. Activision, get out of here. But that needs to stop because when you start doing that, you put players that actually want to be not good at the game, but they just want to enjoy it. They just want to log in and just play and have fun. Like myself now, I just play for fun. It ruins the experience. You're just like, oh, I'm dead again. Oh, I'm dead again. Oh, I'm dead again. Oh look, I'm dead again. It's boring. It's not a game anymore. It's a game of attrition. That when do I quit? And 9 times out of 10, I'm like, well, I've died 17 times in about 3 minutes, so I'm gonna quit now. It's just, and
how many more times can a person die?
Yeah, how many more times am I gonna get shot at by the same guy that's got this gun that I can't get? Rage mode.
But the thing is, does that change anything though? Just because they've taken the element of pay to win out of it? Because I don't think it does.
It doesn't.
Because people still have an obsession about how they look in the game. I mean, I remember when one of my children came up to me and they were playing, I think it was Roblox, and they sort of said, "Oh, I've got to buy the latest skin because I get picked on online if I don't." And I was like, "What?
No.
Are you kidding me? And how much is this skin? Oh, it's only 98p. I was like, right, only 98p. I mean, stupidly, as a parent, I got him because obviously I used to give the kids certain amounts of money every week anyway. So I was just like, well, that's coming out of your pocket change. Simple as that. So, I per se didn't pay for it. It was, they'd earned it. So, yeah, okay.
Pocket money.
Again, we are down that line of people are literally getting harassed online if they're not wearing the latest gear or the latest looking glamour. I mean, this is great. This has gone. It's almost like real life has leaked out into gaming as well. Society is bleeding into it. Ugh, I hate it. Absolutely vile. Can't stand that kind of thing.
No,
it's just.
It needs to stop, but at the moment, I don't see it stopping because I need to look cool in game, and this is where companies are. This is where I keep
saying, they do. But who is to blame? Is it the companies or is it us for being mugs? I question both sides of that spectrum right there.
It's a difficult one to answer, I guess. I mean, maybe we can do a deep dive into this because I kind of want to really look into that and maybe go not psychologically into the idea, because hey, we're all mugs and we all buy stuff online.
I think psychology is actually a massive part of it.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest. To a degree, it has to be. Companies also know that people like us who love something to a point where we'll part with cash. That's business. So yeah, I get it. I'm all for corporacy, don't get me wrong, because corporacy jobs, it makes people money. At the end of the day, whether or not we like it, corporacy is here to stay. It isn't going anywhere.
Oh no, it's not. So, it's definitely not going anywhere.
Well, it isn't. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to learn to live with it. That's fine. But I do think they need to start really listening to what we're all saying. You know, like I say, I've been following YouTubers that have been saying this for a long time, and every time they release another video, they are losing their shit over it. Yeah. You've got Angry Joe, Jimquisition. He has been saying himself, it literally is turning into a cesspit of negativity and just, come here, my children. I think it's really weird.
It's again voting with your wallet. Right. If you don't buy it, then you don't have to worry about it in the future. And if people started to look at it and go, well, I can't afford to buy little Jessie this, skin that their kids are going on about, that their friends are going on about, then
don't buy it.
You don't buy it, and slowly the trend starts to peter out. And the idea that companies can make money off of this starts to disappear, because everyone votes with their wallets. So
actually, then we are the mugs, but we also equally have a balance of power there too.
We have that power as well, because obviously we earn our money. Like, we go to work, we come home, we get a paycheck every month. So we have to look at that and go, well, that paycheck has to last us the month. And in most cases, for most people, it will last you the month.
Absolutely.
In buying that, £5 skin pack and this, whatever it might be for your favourite game or whatever your kids are playing, to treat them once a month or twice a month, or your card is put in the hands of said small child and then they run up thousands of pounds. Anyway, it has happened.
It has happened, and it's terrible that it's happened. But
that's where the control element comes in. Is you go, okay, one-time transaction. I understand. I'm not a parent, okay, yet, but I understand that parents want to make their kids happy. It's just what you do as parents. You want to make sure that they are the happiest in.
And these corporate companies also know that as well, and exactly. That's why they target children.
It's the worst.
Because it's just, it really, really is. It's almost sickening. And that is one of the biggest elements of it I can't stand. But what I'm really angry about the most is the fact that we seem to be the only industry that allows an unfinished product on the market. And nothing is said.
Because
it's disgusting.
We will vote with our wallets to pre-order this junk, for all intents and purposes, what is basically alpha software in a game, and the hype gets too much. Again, you mentioned CD Projekt Red, and with Cyberpunk, and that is one of the biggest atrocities to happen to gaming from that company, and they're known for making some of the best RPGs in the world.
Absolutely.
I don't
I
like
think
them.
That hurt people even more, and why it's really damaged people to that extremity. Because at the end of the day, CD Projekt Red are loved by the gaming community for their honesty, usually, for their they're usually so direct with their fans and so well run, and business wise as well, even monetary wise. Their games have never been what I would call expensive. They've always been very reasonable. They've always kind of, thought quite heavily about their fan base. And when that happened, oh mate, I was absolutely, I couldn't believe it.
It's the corporate
I've got the Johnny Silverhand figure. I've got the key. I went all mad out on it.
Jesus. There's some money there in that set. What was that going for? Like 100 and something quid?
Oh mate, I'm telling you, I'm absolutely mortified. But I'm hoping over time that they'll be able to.
I think in that case,
how they're going to make it back.
I was actually talking about this to a mate at work today, He was going to reinstall Cyberpunk on his PS5 to see if it actually worked. And I made the point of saying, expect it to be more stable, but don't expect it to work. Because...
So yeah, we've noticed as time's gone on, actually, the more they fix it, the more it breaks for us.
That's basically what is going on with it. The first patch that they released, or major patch to fix the game, broke more than it fixed. And then they fixed the breakages that they... I understand games design.
It's a never-landing cycle. It's a domino effect. You fix one thing, it breaks another. ESO are known for it. They're always doing that. We've updated it. We fixed the service. No, you really haven't. I don't know where you get that from.
What?
PvP's more stable than ever. Have you been in there recently?
Get the hell out.
3 blue screens in the space of an hour? Really? You know, like they don't pay any attention. Is anyone actually in the real world in these companies? Does anyone actually test these games out? Well, I'm starting to wonder.
Apparently, there are games testers on the credits of these games. Whether they get tested or not is another thing.
I don't believe it. I'm sorry. Who's been testing them? I'm sorry, but my little boy Obi could do a better job. I seriously, it's a joke. There's no way you'd play that game and go, "Yep, that's great, brilliant." Next. Oh,
corporate
shut up,
overlords.
Would you? What? You wouldn't though, would you?
No, you wouldn't.
I mean, I literally played Cyberpunk for the first couple of hours, and I was like, you know, it's not as bad as people are saying. But then I started noticing the severe frame rate issues. Then I had like motorbikes raining from the sky.
Oh, that's
randomly.
A hilariously known bug, and I love it.
I admit I did laugh out loud. I was just like, this is an absolute... It's a mess. I'm sorry, but it is. I didn't want to say it, but it was. But for the most part, I was able to play what I could. But that's the point right there. I was able to play what I could. And I shouldn't have to say that.
No, you paid all that money to play a percentage that's not even worth mentioning of the game, of the experience that you have paid money for. And that's wrong.
But this isn't the only game to do it, though, is it? And this is the thing. I was a bit... I was going to say bugged out then.
Puns!
Puns, drop them. Yeah, so I was like literally sort of thinking about other games too. At the end of the day, people have used CD Projekt Red as a massive example, but the point is, this has been happening for a long time, but we've let it go. And I think because we were all locked down, I think we expected more from it. I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is. We were just expecting far more from this. Because we're locked down, we don't have much to look forward to. We put all of our energy and time, and obviously as geeks ourselves and gaming lovers, you do throw your heart into a lot of the things that you really want to work. And it didn't. And obviously, given the times right now, everyone's stressed. So it's a big thing. But when I bought... Red Dead Redemption 2, when that first came out, I bought it the day after release. Again, I bloody love the game. It is great.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have a patch on the first one. No. Again, you know, we'll have another discussion about sequels in games and stuff at some time in the future. But Red Dead Redemption 2 was a bug fest. It wasn't perfect.
They had a lot of issues. I never played or never bought it, but I heard and read about all the bugs that they were having in the main like campaign areas and like all the main cities, and even just roaming around, like just like all of a sudden dead. Like what? Why?
No, in my case, again, I have to say it was a one moment. I'd had a glass of wine and I was just kind of like doodling around on the game, and I was on my horse, and suddenly I don't know what it was, but the horse bolted me off because apparently a little stone that's about an inch high in game apparently makes enough for a horse to kind of just kick you off. So I flew over, got flung into a tree, and then I died. I was like, "Are you what?" And then I was just I was rolling around on the. Oh my god! Again, though, it's another discussion, isn't it? You know, we can laugh at bugs. Bugs are wrong, though. They're not supposed to happen.
It's not supposed to happen, but it's the funny ones that catch you.
We're laughing about it. And we shouldn't be laughing about it because, you should, but it seems wrong to laugh about it.
It proves
because
the point that what we pay for is not complete. But
it's not worthy. It's not worthy of the money.
I think
it isn't.
This discussion is going to be one of those ones that we can have for hours and never understand the full reason.
No.
And
no.
This will be a discussion point probably a lot of the time. Not that we hate video games. Just so you're aware.
No, I mean that was a full price game. That was one of the first games I bought full price day after release. And again, I'm not taking away from the story. Yes, they fixed the bugs reasonably quickly, may I add. And yeah, I mean, people have a laugh at the bugs and stuff like that. But after sitting down and thinking about it, I've just paid 50 quid for that. I'm sorry, but that should not. Yeah. How are these games, and who is responsible for allowing any of these games out in public? I don't get it.
Maybe.
Why? I expect sometimes some things can go horribly wrong, but again, I would have thought once you've had them sort of, distributed on CD or CD-ROM or whatever, or however you choose to play it, they'd have had their checks and their tests. And there's no way they could be, because there's no way you'd let that out.
So I'm thinking we should extend that into the first main episode, because that's a good point to end on, I reckon. Not that I don't want to stop this conversation.
I know, absolutely. We can waffle all night.
We can waffle all night, and we will be here, and you will have like a 6-hour introductory episode. We're currently at 41 minutes, which is not a problem, because I've got nothing else to do with my life, but I do need to...
Well, that just shows everybody how much material that we can cover and how much we've got to discuss.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot to discuss.
There is.
The gaming world is never boring, that's for sure.
Oh, no. We are going to go and just cover a few small things before we disappear.
Yes.
So, this podcast that you are hopefully possibly going to listen to maybe 2 or 3 episodes is sort of... will. We hope so. We are going to make a lot of the topics very different. We're going to not just cover video games, we're going to cover, like I said at the beginning, tabletop card games on our Twitch channel. I'm sort of going to be not taking over, but introducing like miniatures and playing card games over the internet, which is going to be interesting. And there was a very, very interesting noise that came from Dawn. But the whole idea of this podcast was to share our passion and look into the world of what the social media side of what we like to do as gamers is doing. Now, the social media side is a bit naff. It's all a bit bland and the same. And you can listen to any other podcast you like. But please listen to us. But you can listen to any other podcast you like, and it will be the same sort of flavour. And we wanted to mix it up and bring something different. So the whole goal is to incorporate this.
We don't mince our words here either. This is something that I want to make quite clear, because one thing I don't want people is to take offence by anything that we're saying and stuff like that. We are ultimately wanting to be straight up across the board and be honest about anything and everything we do, because I find that a lot of these kind of reviewers and things like that, they tend to, cotton candy everything.
They get paid to spill the good stuff. We are not getting paid, so we're gonna say what the fuck we like. And yes, it's definitely not for children. Definitely not one to listen to in the car. However, we will obviously try to keep the language to a minimum.
Adults only.
There are, when I'm doing my live streams, and when Dawn's doing her live streams, obviously we are gonna be professional to streaming and how streamers are. We don't use professional right here. We don't get paid to do this because it's just a bit of fun. Loosely professional. But on the topic of streaming and the social side, I spent because Dawn was busy. No, she wasn't busy. She was doing other things. But I spent the better part of several hours going through and selecting lots of the most popular ones. So we have a Facebook, we have a Twitch, we have a Twitter, we have a YouTube, we have... What else do we have? Shit, what else do we have? I think that's the main four.
Twitch,
If I think of the other ones, I will.
YouTube.
They will be listed somewhere in the description. So if you guys want to come check us out, for most things we will run across as Geekt Gaming. So our live stream, so our Twitch, our YouTube, and our Twitter is at Geekt Gaming. That is a really, really hard word to say when you've had a really long day. I'm not even gonna lie. And if you want to find us on Facebook, as soon as you are hearing this, the group will actually be visible, because at the moment it's invisible while we did maintenance stuff on it.
Oh, we now have a Discord too as well.
Oh,
Just I'll drop that in.
When did we get that? Why was I not told?
We got it.
Oh, okay. Okay, we've got Discord apparently, so we will leave the Discord link in the description as well. Damn it, Dawn, you're putting me on the spot here. So we will sort that out as well, and it's going to be ace. What we've got planned, or what we want to do at a later date, is involve everyone that wants to listen, that wants to help us create. We will be looking into obviously doing gaming with people. I will be looking at doing paint-a-thons and stuff with miniatures and playing card games, TCGs. I'm very limited on the amount of TCGs I can play. And Dawn doesn't play TCGs, so maybe get on that and tell Dawn that she's an absolute douche canoe and she needs to play TCGs.
No, I've got to even learn how to play D&D yet.
My God.
That's going to be interesting.
That's going to be absolutely amazing.
It's something I've always wanted to do, but obviously when you've got kids, it's not,
It's not an easy thing to do, but we're going to do that.
No.
This is the sort of things we're planning to do. Everything geeky, everything that you can possibly think of, and you can tell I am not a podcaster. I'm not a radio DJ in the slightest. That goes to Dawn. But we are going to bring a different slice, hopefully, to the gaming world. And hopefully you'll join us on this journey for a bit of a laugh. And if you like us, that's amazing. If you don't like us, but you just want to listen to the podcast as background noise, that's just as good. So,
even if it's just for the freaking intro and outro, that tune.
You're gonna love this. So you heard it at the start. You're gonna hear it again at the end. I mean, it's only gonna be like, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds of it, but it's so good, and we can link you it because we have to link you it. It's just kind of like...
It's just absolutely awesome.
It's gonna be amazing. I don't know what else there is to say. Dawn, is there anything else to say?
Yep. Basically, I just want to say thank you to everybody that has joined us today, and obviously, again, I'm gonna roll this out. I think with the end credits.
I think that's a good idea. You're the DJ.
So anyway, as I say, welcome to Geeked. This is the latest edition, obviously. You can come and catch us for news, reviews, and interviews across all things geeky and nerdy, and across all spectrums. Pardon the pun. This is the first of many podcasts, as I say, and yeah. We hope to see you soon. So from us at Geekt Gaming. Catch you later. Keep gaming.
Hoorah!
Woo!